Coco Gauff advances to Miami Open 2026 semifinals. Jakarta, Coco Gauff managed to eliminate Belinda Bencic to reach the semifinals of the 2026 Miami Open. It was her first ticket to the top four in the history of the WTA 1000-level tournament. Gauff, who played in front of her own supporters, fought back from a third-set deficit to seal the victory with a final score of 6-3, 1-6, and 6-3 at the Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, United States, on Tuesday night local time or Wednesday, March 25, 2026, morning WIB. The match was so hard. Belinda is a tough player. Every time we meet, the game always lasts a long time, said Gauff after the match as reported by the WTA official website. Gauff performed so well in the first set of this match. He held the serve in the first game and did not lose a single point in the game, then took advantage of one of the 3 break points in the second game and was able to steal the third game to take a 3-0 lead. The 22-year-old failed to quickly extend the lead by failing to convert any of the 3 break points in the next game and then losing his serve in the 5th game, so the score gap was narrowed. However, he immediately stole the next 2 games to maintain the lead. Even though he lost the 8th game, Gauff immediately rose in the 9th game. He didn't lose a single point in the game to take a 1-0 lead over Belinda. The game in the second set was completely different. He immediately went to 0-3 and then managed to steal the 4th game, but lost the serve in the 6th game, so Belinda won easily to tie the score. In the deciding set, Gauff managed to secure the first game while holding the serve, but Belinda managed to take the lead 3-2. He then found his game pattern and stole the next 4 games to get a semi-final ticket. This is Gauff's 5th victory out of a total of 7 clashes on the competitive arena with a Swiss player. 2 of her losses during that period were at Indian Wells last year and Adelaide in 2021. Today I ran a lot, fell a few times, but I'm really proud of how I fought today. I think that's been the theme of this week, said Gauff, who has collected 2 Grand Slam titles in her career. Gauff is the youngest American to reach the women's singles semifinals at the Miami Open since Serena Williams in 2024. She will next face Karolina Muchova, who qualified after knocking out Victoria Mboko. The Miami air shimmered with heat and anticipation, a familiar embrace for those who understood the rhythm of tennis in Florida. Under the bright lights of Hard Rock Stadium, Coco Gauff stepped onto the court not just as a player, but as a story still unfolding, one that had captured the imagination of fans across the world. The Miami Open had always been special. It was more than just another tournament, it was a homecoming of sorts. For Coco, the energy felt personal. Every cheer echoed louder. Every point carried more weight. And on this night in 2026, she stood on the edge of something significant. A place in the semifinals. Her opponent was formidable, the kind of player who thrived under pressure. The rallies were long, punishing, and precise, each shot a test of endurance and will. From the first serve, it was clear that this would not be an easy victory. Coco's movements were sharp, her focus unbreakable, but the match demanded more than skill. It demanded resilience. The first set unfolded like a chess match. Angles were carved with intention, and the baseline became a battlefield of strategy. Coco's forehand cracked through the humid air, drawing gasps from the crowd, while her opponent responded with equal intensity. Games stretched into deuce after deuce, neither willing to concede ground. Yet there was something different about Coco that night. A quiet confidence lingered in her demeanor. It wasn't loud or showy. It was steady, like a heartbeat. Even when she dropped crucial points, she didn't falter. Instead, she reset, recalibrated, and returned stronger. When she clinched the first set, the crowd erupted. It wasn't just applause, it was belief. But tennis has a way of rewriting narratives in an instant. The second set saw momentum shift. Her opponent found new depth, new angles, pushing Coco further behind the baseline. Errors crept in, subtle at first, then more noticeable. For a moment, doubt hovered in the air. Coco felt it. Every athlete does. The question is never whether doubt exists, but how one responds to it. She closed her eyes briefly between points, taking a breath that seemed to ground her. The noise faded, the pressure dissolved, and what remained was the game she loved. When she opened her eyes, there was clarity again. The third set became a testament to her growth, not just as a player, but as a competitor. Gone was the teenager who once relied solely on instinct and raw talent. In her place stood a composed athlete who understood the nuances of timing, patience, and mental fortitude. Each rally in that final set felt like a story in itself. There were moments of brilliance, a perfectly placed drop shot, a passing winner down the line, and moments of grit, where she chased down balls that seemed unreachable. The crowd leaned into every exchange, living each point with her. At 5-4, serving for the match, the tension was almost tangible. The stadium fell into a hush, broken only by the distant hum of the city beyond its walls. Coco bounced the ball, once, twice, 3 times. Her focus narrowed to a single point in space. The serve was clean. The rally that followed was fierce. And then, with one final, decisive stroke, it was over. For a split second, there was silence, as if the world needed time to catch up to what had just happened. Then came the roar. It surged through the stadium, a wave of sound that carried pride, admiration, and excitement. Coco Gauff had advanced to the semifinals of the Miami Open 2026. She stood at the baseline, a small smile forming as she absorbed the moment. There was no dramatic celebration, no overwhelming display. Just a quiet acknowledgement of the journey, of the work, the challenges, and the belief that had brought her here. In that moment, it wasn't just about winning a match. It was about growth, about proving, once again, that she belonged among the best, not because of potential, but because of performance. As she waved to the crowd and walked off the court, the story continued to write itself. The semifinals awaited, bringing new challenges and new possibilities. But one thing was certain, Coco Gauff wasn't just playing tennis.